If I could just have your attention really quick. This week we launched something called the human right. You guys know who she is? You should know who she is because about 1,000 of you have been hashtagging for us to put her on the stage. And so I want to make it loud and clear, when this generation of students speaks, you have leadership who listens. And this week we launched something, before I ask Rachel to minister, this week we launched something called the human right. And the purpose of the human right is truly to mobilize voices to speak as one. For the human right is to know Jesus. And the human right movement is to make him known. Also, iTunes is featuring the Human Right album already. We are number 11 on iTunes just with the download of the single. How cool would it be for the music industry in the Christian and gospel category to understand this is what happens when a generation of students desire to end injustice? We can change the conversation that's taking place right here in this room. Text your friends, tweet your friends, use the hashtag, get as many people as you can to use the hashtag Columbus14 and the Human Right, and to download the Human Right single, the Human Right album. The world is watching, and it's about time. And at your request tonight, this was not planned, a young lady who has experienced a dramatic life change recently, and we are honored to have you. Please give it up for Rachel Pollock.
Superficial conversations undermine the social stats of young and immature adults who probably buy into that. But culture doesn't contradict the things we have a problem with. They thoroughly support and usually find a way to honor it. So here I am in opposition, hoping to define a mission needed but rejected by the people I'm correcting. So excuse me if I'm wrong, but I'm here to interject in such a subtle yet profound attempt to interrupt your temperament. Cause sentiment, just a new excuse to be complacent in a world that's going distant from the one that we were raising. And it's tasteless to even entertain the thought of compromise, cause we lose our supremacy to consubstantial artifice, and that begins to dissolute and misconstrue reality. So we believe that Jesus is subordinate to vanity, and that should cause concern, but still we hardly ever notice, cause addressing fellow Christians could cause us to be alone. And so nothing ever changes. We become the things we talk about in church behind the person in pew that it's about, and we don't really have a problem with it. We'd rather move on and let it sit inside our spirit and convict us. Let's be honest though, I'm not here to sugarcoat or emphasize your underlying problems like I'm opted out of. I'm just here to let you know that judgment is upon us. We don't have the time to promise God our actions don't reflect our hearts. I cannot see our motives. We're supposed to set a good example, not preamble some distorted and corrupted introduction to a hand, just so we can't induce confusion in our viewers like it's planned. That the cards are on my table and it's hard to make amends. No, I don't really care about the competition. Let them listen, let them hear my vision, let them tell me what I'm missing, let them have their intuition. I mean, only if it's biblical. Don't claim to be prophetic if you're just trying to be lyrical. To the generations, imitations taking precedent, and until we turn away. Taking consecration to a different place, to God at 9 and 10, until we soon replace for our will and not his. Yeah, and on by our thoughts we rationalize sin as just a means to survive while struggling to be alive. We become what the lies have told us in desperation, trying to vacate our minds. And he who hates discipline's a fool. And who are you then? Cleverly disguised innuendos make our children think that it's okay to be rebellious, and it isn't at all. Meanwhile, the church is trying to fit in, and it's strange, isn't it, that we can justify a Christian tattoo more than argue on abortion while there's youth group kids smoking weed before service like the body's not a temple and that verse is not important. God created all the plants for our consumption though. Well, if he did, then why don't you eat all your vegetables? To correct you though, only God can judge me. Oh, okay, you're right, but please don't take that saying lightly, cause what fellowship does light have with darkness? How can lust be wrong when Katy Perry's not a problem, huh? I know that it seems legalistic, but just understand the cross was never crooked. We choose a side to stand on. God's plan was not to segregate us children by denominations named by individuals who believe wrong. Disagree, but don't let anger have a foothold. The inconvenient truth is just the one that never gets told. And I don't want to grow old, complacent, misdirected by wolves that are viciously disguised as our shepherds. I desire purity, and he restores my innocence. The bridegroom is coming for his wife. Can he tell the difference? Are we really consecrated or frustrated that he called us to the mission field without proper payment? Man, we can change this. All we gotta do is pray and just believe that we is able and can save us. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be light on earth. On earth, so God bless.
Rachel just recently graduated from Teen Challenge. Been talking with some folks who know you very well, Rachel, and they've told us that basically the words you just saying, Jesus is your everything. It's a good choice on Jesus. But I was speaking with somebody you met earlier this week. His name's Saul Arledge. He's the COO of My Healthy Church. He's also the leader of Influence Music. He's the gentleman leading the project of the Human Right album. He has a question he'd like to ask you. Saul, would you mind coming out, please?
Rachel, I have a question for you. Did you write that song?
Yes, sir.
I would love to put your song on the Human Right album. I have one question. Can I?
Absolutely.
You are an incredible testimony of what we can do when God enters and we decide to follow him, how he can transform our lives. And now look how you're ministering to thousands here and tens of thousands around the country. Now the album is moved to number 11. Let's let the world hear us tonight. We're not through. Amen. We are just getting started. I don't want to put you on the spot, Rachel, but do you want to say a word?
On the way here, I became very aware that I need to do more cardio. I truly believe in a generation that God is rising up, that when we are aware that it's not us, but that it's the grace of God that we do what we do, there's something within us, which is the power of God, that comes and speaks to millions of people that we could not do on our own because it's Christ within us. And when we forget that it's Christ, we begin to look at ourselves and think that it's us. And I would like you to know that nothing that I just said came from my own heart. It came from God. And He loves you all.